Hey guys, it's Patel here from Ish Network, and within the past 24 hours, we've seen two really great budget launches for smartphones. The first being the OnePlus 2, and the second being early today, the Moto family, and especially the Moto X. So I just thought it would be a great time to make a quick video going over the two devices, their design, hardware, and software, and quickly giving my initial impressions and which one you should be leaning towards depending on what type of user you are. So without further ado, let's get into design of the OnePlus 2, shall we? So going over the design in terms of the OnePlus 2, it takes cues from its predecessor and makes subtle changes and refinements. It is now only available in the sandstone black variant and supports an all-metal frame design, which OnePlus claims has craftsmanship quality worthy of being in luxury watches. In terms of hardware, there is a 64-bit Snapdragon 810 octa-core chip at the heart of the device, which is supposedly version 2.0 to take care of the heat issues in the first variant of the Snapdragon 810. Along with the Snapdragon 810 comes the Adreno 430 GPU. In terms of RAM, the 16GB variant of the OnePlus 2 will support 3 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM, whereas the 64GB variant will support 4 gigs of RAM to power all your multitasking needs. Showing all that off will be a 1080p screen, which will be 5.5 inches across. The battery will see a slight boost of 200 mAh to 3300 mAh for the total. There is also a capacitive fingerprint sensor on the device at the bottom of the front. It's sort of like the same location where iPhones and Galaxy series phones have them. There will also be a bottom-firing stereo sound system supported by a dual microphone array. In terms of the camera, the OnePlus 2 sports a 13-megapixel rear-facing camera with a better sensor, which apparently the photos released by OnePlus seem to outperform both the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy S6. The camera is supported by optical image stabilization and laser autofocus like the LG G series. It will still retain the dual-tone flash, and the front-facing camera will be upgraded to a 5-megapixel wide-angle lens. The phone also comes with a USB Type-C interface, which means you probably will need adapters, but it's already prepared for the switch in the future, which most devices should be making next generation, or pretty much next year, that is. It also means, unfortunately, there's no quick charge available, and it also seems that the OnePlus 2 doesn't sport a NFC chip, nor will there be a micro SD card slot, which may disappoint some users. In terms of software, the phone will ship with Oxygen OS, which is OnePlus's in-house based off Android OS, and it will be running Android 5.1.1 at launch. It will still be in the stock Android feel with just a different skin and some heavy customization options available for the user. And that's particularly what I like about OnePlus. They keep a stock Android feel while letting you customize pretty much any part of the phone you want. In terms of price, the 16GB variant will cost you $329 US, and the 64GB variant will cost you about $389, which is absolutely outstanding considering the products you're getting and the top tier specs. Now let's switch gears over onto the new third generation Moto X released earlier today. Motorola launched it, with a slight redesign in terms of design, and some perks up its sleeve as well. In terms of design, the Moto X 2nd Gen has been slightly improved and altered to allow for newer hardware. Moto Maker is still available to dope out your phone however you feel like it, and it's honestly one of the best factors of getting a Moto device. And just in terms of design, this guy just looks better than the previous one as well. If you look at the first generation and second generation, you will notice some slight changes, but the third generation, I think they've made a pretty good design. In terms of hardware, this guy packs the 64-bit 6 hexa-core, that is, Snapdragon 808 processor, which is paired with an Adreno 418 GPU. It comes with 3 gigs of RAM across the board and will be showcased on a 5.7-inch Quad HD display. It comes with a 3000 milliamp hour battery, which Motorola claims is the fastest charging battery in the world yet. It says you could get 10 hours of juice off of a 15-minute charge. That remains to be seen, but if it works out, it's going to be amazing. It also sports a water-repellent nano coating, which is useful for people who tend to drop their, phone in water and grab it out real quick, or tend to get just some water on it. The rear-facing shooter will be a 21 megapixel sensor without optical image stabilization, and the front-facing camera will be a 5 megapixel wide-angle lens. It sports dual front-facing speakers, which is a great thing to have these days, and it comes with an NFC chip and, best of all yet, a micro SD card slot. I love those things. Now, in terms of pricing for the Moto X starts at $399 for the 16 GB variant, with options going up all the way to 64 gigs. Now, the question is, which one should you get for a budget unlocked device? Now, that is a big question. So, in my, what I think is that the OnePlus 2 now seems to be catered towards people who want the practical stock Android experience that is highly customizable out of the box and is somewhat future-proofed with a USB Type-C connector. The downsides are definitely that there is no expandable storage, nor is there NFC. For the average consumer, this is a good slew of compromises for an outstanding price-to-performance ratio. For the starting 16 gig model priced at $329, for people on a tight budget, this is definitely the device to go to if you want premium specs at a semi-premium price. The Moto, on the other hand, seems to be catered towards more artistic people. What I mean by that is people who want their phone to express their personality. Moto Maker is a robust tool that I think every Android manufacturer should adopt. I mean, it's just outstanding. You get to show off your personality and flair, and each device has an equal chance of being unique in its design. The Moto also sports NFC and an expandable SD card slot for music, videos, pictures, or whatever you want to store on there, and can be easily shared using the NFC chip. That's what I meant by artistic. For people who, play around and edit music, photos, videos, they'll appreciate the higher 21 megapixel lens on the Moto, while also liking the micro SD card slot to store all their stuff in. The OnePlus is restrained in its use and keeps it practical for everyday folk and business-minded people who need an elegant-looking device that can perform and stay powered throughout the day for cheap. Personally, I myself would pick up the OnePlus 2 because I usually like, a stock Android experience with heavy customization that doesn't slow down or bog down the device. And I appreciate the fact that OnePlus makes it so that rooting the device doesn't void your warranty, which I think pretty much every Android manufacturer should do, because custom ROMs are really where the Android community comes together and showcases their talents and essentially makes the phone a better device overall. And if you are heavy on the photo and video editing and need lots of music on the go, pick up the Moto X. Thanks guys for watching. That was my first impressions on the OnePlus 2 and the Moto X 3rd generation, which I consider now to be budget unlocked devices. So if you liked what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. I'll have more videos coming soon with a sneak peek into what you could expect for the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event on August 13th. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Patel, and I'm out.